We mentioned this a few minutes ago. The compromise budget deal passed by the House is now in the hands of the Senate. It passed the House easily, but what now? Earlier, I spoke with Florida Republican Senator Marco Rubio about this. Marco Rubio, Senator, good morning to you from Washington. You called this budget deal irresponsible. Why?
Well, because we have a government that's already spending over $600 billion a year more than it takes in, so it's borrowing $600 billion a year, and the budget actually increases that. And I think what makes it even more irresponsible is that a couple of years ago, they actually passed a bill here that would lower that number, that would hold the line on spending. And you've seen some reductions in the deficit because of it. This actually undoes a lot of that. So it increases spending over the next 2 years by $60 billion, and it promises to pay it with cuts over 10. Well, that never happens around here. We promised those kinds of cuts just 2 years ago, and already we're undoing them. So just on that basis alone, it only exacerbates an existing problem, which is a government that continues to spend more money than it takes in, that continues to spend money it doesn't have.
Well, you're right on the 17 trillion mark, but on this vote, will you vote yes or no? I take it from your answer, you're a no. Are you?
Oh, I can't support this budget, not only because of that. There are other reasons as well. For example, the budget actually changes this rule that will now make it easier for Democrats in the Senate to raise taxes. They can now raise taxes by 51 votes as a result of this arcane thing that was done in the budget negotiations.
So you wonder why House Republicans voted for this. And Paul Ryan called people like you out. He said, read the deal and get back to me. People are going to do what they need to do. In the minority, you don't have the burden of governing, of getting things done. That's a clear message to Republicans like you on the Senate side.
Well, I appreciate the hard work they put into it. The bottom line is we're well aware of what's in the bill. Everyone's been well aware of what was at the top lines and the most important parts of it, even before they announced any deal. And of course, since then, it has been reviewed by everyone, and it's only confirmed our fears about what a bad deal it is for America. I respect the decisions they've made. They're trying to do the best with what they feel is a difficult situation. But on the other hand, I can tell you that it's just not a good deal for America. I mean, it fails to deal with a fundamental problem of a national debt that continues to grow at an alarming pace and that threatens our economic future and is destroying jobs right now.
Yeah, Paul Ryan said it'd be a bad idea to encounter two possible government shutdowns in the calendar year for 2014. Is he right or wrong about that?
No, I mean, I agree. I don't want a government shutdown, and that's why I oppose this deal, because I think this budget actually contributes to the day that we're going to have a real shutdown of government, not because the Congress can't pass a law, but because we have a debt crisis, and we've got to begin to deal with that. Every year, every time we're asked to vote for something up here on the budget, it's always, well, we'll wait till the future to deal with the serious issues that we confront as a country, and this is one more example of that. We're now being asked to wait 2 more years before anything meaningful is done on debt and deficits, and I just don't think we have that time anymore.
Let me switch to Obamacare. You enrolled your family this past week, correct?
That's right. That's the law of the land. I think if Americans want to live on...
I apologize, but just wait for the question. What did you think of the level of insurance you received now?
Well, a couple things. I think it's important that if Americans are going to be forced to live under Obamacare, their members of Congress should be forced to live under Obamacare. The second point is the insurance we have obviously has less providers, has less hospitals and less of the doctors that were on previous plans. It costs more money as well. It has a higher deductible. And by the way, those are the experiences that people across the country are facing with Obamacare. So I think it is important that their elected representatives have to experience the same things people across the country are experiencing.
Well, we
shouldn't shield our policymakers.
And you're allowed to take the subsidy under law, and you opted for that.
Right.
How did you help you and your family under that subsidy?
Well, first of all, it's not a subsidy. It's the federal contribution that employers make, and people get that as well, unless every employee in the federal government gets it. I'm in favor. If there is a law here proposed to actually do away with it, I would vote for that. But I'm going to comply with the law as it is currently written. We're not going to try to do anything magical here. We're going to live by the laws of the land, just like everybody across the country has to live under those laws and those rules as they apply.
You know,
and that means being under Obamacare.
They hear that answer and they think it's hypocrisy. What would you say to those people who believe that? In terms members of Congress taking the subsidy like that?
Well, again, it's an employer contribution, and if we want to do away with it as a body so that it's done away with for every member of Congress, I would support that. Senator Vitter has proposed that initiative, and that is something that I would vote for.
What is your expectation for this law come January? We've heard some dire stories this past week. What do you think?
Well, I think it's going to get worse, and you're already seeing it. I think the latest string of bad stories that we're starting to experience are people that are having massive increases in their deductibles. That means, you know, before you can even begin to access your health care coverage, some people have to come up with $10,000 to $12,000, which basically means they're uninsured because they don't have $10,000 or $12,000. And that probably is going to get worse next year. I think you're also going to see the federal government have to step in and provide a cash infusion to keep these insurance companies on the exchanges from going bankrupt or from going insolvent. And I think that's going to be something that's going to become extremely unpopular as well. So I think we've only seen the tip of the iceberg as to the rolling series of bad stories that are going to come out with regards to Obamacare.
We're about to all find out because we're just a few weeks away from the new year. Senator, thank you for your time. Wishing you and your family a Merry Christmas.
Likewise.
As well.
Thank you very much.
Marco Rubio from the Hill. Thank you.